Alexander's success just in this past year alone is among the greatest that any athlete could have. World championships, silver, world #1 ranked fencer, and then an Olympic silver medal. What is Alex doing especially well right now that allows him to be at that top spot?
Well, there were several things. Number one, he was going to come out of Stanford. He's an engineering student at Stanford. It's very, very hard. So therefore, it was difficult for him to be able to maintain that. So basically, after the winter quarter, after the NCAAs, basically, I said, take the time off. So he took 1 quarter and a year off to be able to focus on getting ready for the Olympics. Because otherwise, it's just too mentally distracting. Even though you're able to make it happen for so many years, come to the Olympics, you need to take the extra time off. So I think that was a huge difference for him. It allowed him to be able to have the sort of mental freedom to be able to focus on fencing rather than have to worry about the academics and this and that and the other. I mean, even now, different events happening. Started last week, we had an event. He's got work problems he has to do. I mean, the Junior World Championships, I remember after the semifinals he won, or the quarterfinals before the semifinals of fencing, he's doing work study problems that he had to email to his professor at Stanford, and he's fencing with a Chinese guy. Well, the Chinese guy was not thinking about doing any work problems, so he was just focused on beating Alexander. And so those kinds of things, were coming. But I'm very proud of him. He was able to maintain that period and then kind of go through. And then now let's kind of go back his senior year, kind of relax a little bit more, but stay on top of the fencing. He's not going to go to the first World Cup in Cairo because it's too soon, and I want him to kind of get into the flow of things. He'll get ready for Tokyo, and then we'll have the sort of group come together. So you kind of have to ebb and flow. I mean, a lot of the other countries were fencing professional athletes, that's what they do. So that's their job, that's what they're going on. So we have to be a little more selective how we go about things, and I think that we played it pretty well, and I think allowed him to kind of rise to the occasion or the right moment, and hopefully, we can look at things as we kind of go forward for the next quadrant.
And with an athlete like Alexander achieving the level of success that he has, do you look at endorsements or forego the senior year of your final NCAA season, or will he be competing for Stanford this year?
He'll be competing with Stanford this year. He's actually a very kind of, how do I say it? He's a very kind of respectful person for what he's doing, and obviously he trains with us. He fences with Stanford a little bit, but really the program is kind of what we're doing. But he acknowledges the fact that Stanford fencing helped him to get into Stanford, one of the hardest universities, and so he wants to do his part to be able to contribute to that situation. And obviously there's a certain amount of financial aid that's tied into that, but he has obviously opportunities, and those opportunities can wait about 6 months until, fortunately, it's going to come sooner after. So you have opportunities to do it. Fortunately, the reality is that, you graduate from Stanford engineering, you're going to have opportunities anyway. So the reality is that it's not like he's, in dire need or whatever else. I mean, obviously it would be wonderful to have them, but at the same time, it's a situation whereby, he can look at the longer term.
All right, Coach. Well, again, congrats to you, your son, your family. Thank you.
Thank you.